Ever felt like your life is crumbling just when you're about to break through? Like the universe is pushing you to your limits, testing your patience, faith, and strength? That's not a coincidence. It's a pattern. Before any major transformation, before your reality shifts, there's a moment of chaos, a storm. If you don't recognize it for what it is, you might think you're failing. But in reality, you're being prepared for something greater. Science and ancient wisdom reveal a fundamental truth. The universe isn't punishing you, it's testing you. Every challenge, every setback, every delay is part of a hidden process, a process designed to push you beyond your limits and ensure you're ready for the life you claim to want. Think about it. Before a rocket launches, it shakes under extreme pressure. Before a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, it dissolves inside its cocoon. Before you step into your new reality, the universe will test you not to break you, but to refine you. In this video, we're diving deep. You'll learn why these universal tests happen, the hidden signs proving you're closer than you think, and how to pass these tests so you don't keep repeating the same cycles. Most people give up when they're inches away from a breakthrough because they don't recognize these tests. But after watching this, you won't be one of them. Stay with me until the end, and you'll understand how to recognize when the universe is testing you, how to push through, and how to emerge transformed. Because if you pass these tests, your entire reality is about to change. Welcome to Mindful Rise, where we uncover the secrets of the mind, the universe, and the forces shaping your reality. If you're ready to transform your life, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now, let's begin. Before we explore the signs that the universe is testing you, we need to understand what these tests really are. Most people see challenges as random obstacles, bad luck, or misfortune. But that's not true. Every struggle, every delay, every unexpected setback is part of a bigger plan. A plan designed to stretch you, shape you, and prepare you for the reality you desire. When you set an intention for something success, love, health, purpose, you send out a signal to the universe. You declare, I am ready. But the universe doesn't just hand you what you ask for. Instead, it gives you opportunities to become the person who can handle it. And that's when the tests begin. A universal test is not a punishment or a cruel trick. It's a way to see if you're truly ready for the next level. Because if you want something greater, you have to become greater. And the only way to do that is to be challenged to step beyond your comfort zone and prove through action that you're ready. Look at nature. Before a seed becomes a tree, it must break open, destroying its old form. Before a diamond shines, it must endure intense pressure. Before you enter your new reality, you will be tested. These tests come in different forms. Sometimes they appear as impossible obstacles. Other times as old habits, toxic relationships, or limiting beliefs resurfacing. It's the universe asking, are you sure? Have you really changed? Are you ready to leave the old behind? One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that when things go wrong, it means they're on the wrong path. But often, the opposite is true. The moment you decide to change, to step into a new version of yourself, that's when the universe challenges you the most, not to break you, but to strengthen you. Think about Olympic athletes. They don't wake up one day and win a gold medal. They endure brutal training, injuries, failures, doubts. Through those tests, they prove they are ready. The same thing happens in your life. If you want to manifest a new reality, you must prove you can handle it. You have to demonstrate discipline, resilience, and faith. Because if you respond to universal tests with fear, doubt, or avoidance, you stay stuck. But if you rise to the challenge, everything shifts. These tests often start subtly. Maybe you set a goal to start a business and suddenly everything goes wrong. Deals fall through, finances tighten, people doubt you. That's not a sign to give up, it's a test. The universe is asking, will you keep going even when it's hard? Or maybe you're ready for a deep, meaningful relationship and suddenly an ex reappears. Or you attract the same toxic patterns you swore you left behind. That's a test. The universe is asking, have you really learned? Will you settle or will you choose differently? One of the most powerful things you can do is recognize these tests. Instead of reacting with frustration or fear, ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? What part of myself needs to grow? What old pattern must I break? The universe never tests you randomly. Every challenge exposes the areas where you still need to evolve. It's not about proving yourself to the universe, it's about proving yourself to yourself. And here's something most people don't realize: the harder the test, the closer you are to your breakthrough. It's like the final moments before dawn, the darkest, most difficult time. This is when most people quit. They get tired, they lose faith, they turn back, and they never realize that if they had just pushed a little further, everything would have changed. So if you're going through something right now, if life feels heavy, if things seem to be falling apart, don't assume it's a sign to stop. It could be the exact opposite. It could be a sign that you're right on the edge of something incredible, but only if you pass the test. There comes a point in every transformation where you feel stuck, trapped. Like no matter what you do, nothing moves. You try to change your life, but the same problems keep showing up. You set goals, but you make little to no progress. It feels like you're walking through thick mud, exhausting yourself, but never really moving forward. And in these moments, doubt creeps in. You start to wonder if you're on the wrong path, if maybe you're not meant to succeed, if the universe has forgotten about you. But what if I told you this feeling isn't a sign that you're failing? It's a sign that you're about to break through. Most people don't realize this, but feeling stuck is often the first stage of a major transformation. It's the moment right before things begin to shift. But instead of recognizing it for what it is, most people give up. They get frustrated, lose faith, and fall back into old patterns. Think about a bow and arrow. Before the arrow launches forward, it first has to be pulled back. The more resistance it feels, the farther it will go. The same thing happens to you. When you feel stuck, it's not because nothing is happening, it's because you're being prepared for acceleration. But here's the challenge: this phase feels unbearable. It's frustrating, confusing, and sometimes even painful. You might look around and see other people moving forward while you feel like you're standing still. You might start questioning yourself, wondering if you should change directions or give up. But this is exactly where the universe is testing you. Are you patient enough to hold your vision, even when nothing seems to be changing? Are you disciplined enough to keep showing up, even when the results aren't immediate? Can you trust the process, even when you can't see where it's leading? Most people can't. That's why they stay stuck. Not because they aren't capable, but because they give up right before things start shifting. Here's something most people don't know: when you feel stuck, it's usually because your old reality is falling apart, but your new reality hasn't fully formed yet. You're in between worlds. The person you used to be no longer fits, but the person you're becoming isn't fully here yet. And that space in between, that void, feels uncomfortable. Your mind hates uncertainty. It wants answers, control, and certainty. But transformation doesn't work like that. The most powerful changes happen when you let go of what was before you can see what's next. Right when you decide to change your life, when you commit to something bigger, that's when everything seems to go wrong. Suddenly, obstacles appear out of nowhere. Problems stack up one after another, like the universe is trying to break you. Maybe your finances take a hit. Maybe conflicts arise in your relationships. Maybe your plans fall apart just when you thought you were making progress. It feels like the universe is against you. But what if I told you this is not a sign to stop? What if I told you this is actually proof that you're moving in the right direction? Most people don't realize this, but when you start shifting your reality, your old reality fights back. Everything that's been holding you in place, your habits, your fears, even your environment pushes against the change. It's like an invisible force trying to keep you where you are, testing whether you really mean it when you say you want something new. This is one of the biggest universal tests. It's a pressure test, a way for the universe to see if you have the resilience, the commitment, and the inner strength to handle what you're asking for. Because change isn't just about getting something new, it's about becoming someone new. And the only way to become stronger is through resistance. Think about lifting weights. If you want to build muscle, you have to push against something heavy. If you stop the moment it gets difficult, nothing changes. But if you push through, if you keep going even when it burns, that's when you get stronger. The same principle applies to your life. The universe isn't making things harder to punish you. It's making sure you're strong enough to handle what comes next. Because here's the truth most people don't understand: the bigger the challenges, the bigger the breakthrough. Every person who has ever achieved something great has faced incredible obstacles. Not one of them had an easy path. But what separated them from the rest? They didn't quit. They didn't take the challenges as a sign to turn back. They took them as proof that they were on the edge of something massive. Look at history. Some of the most successful people went through their hardest struggles right before their breakthroughs. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he invented the light bulb. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job in television before becoming one of the most influential people in media. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. They all faced setback after setback, but they refused to let those obstacles define them. So the real question is, how will you respond when life starts throwing challenges at you? Because how you react in these moments determines everything. Most people complain. They get discouraged. They let their emotions take over and give up. They assume the struggle means they're not meant to succeed. But the truth is, struggle is a necessary part of the process. The universe is testing you, asking, do you really want this? Are you willing to fight for it? Or will you crumble under pressure? The people who succeed are the ones who recognize the test. They don't resist it. They don't waste energy complaining about how unfair it is. They understand that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to become more disciplined, more focused, more unstoppable. Right when you decide to change your life, something strange happens. You start feeling pulled back into old habits. Maybe you've committed to waking up early and building a new routine, but suddenly you feel the urge to sleep in. Maybe you've decided to stop toxic relationships, yet an old connection resurfaces, tempting you back into the same cycle. Or maybe you've made a decision to think more positively, but your old doubts and fears creep back in louder than ever. This isn't random. This is a test. The moment you commit to becoming a new version of yourself, your old self fights back. Everything that kept you stuck, the patterns, the beliefs, the habits, doesn't just disappear overnight. It lingers. It pulls at you. It tempts you to go back to what's familiar, what's comfortable, even if it's not what you want. Think of it like this. When a rocket is about to leave the atmosphere, it faces the most resistance. The gravitational pull is strongest right before it breaks free. The same thing happens to you. When you're on the verge of real change, the resistance intensifies, not because you're failing, but because you're close to breaking through. Most people don't recognize this. They think the sudden temptation to fall back into old habits means they're not strong enough, that maybe they're not ready for change. But this is where most people fail, not because they aren't capable, but because they mistake the test for a sign to stop. The universe isn't trying to punish you. It's asking you one simple question. Are you really ready to let go of the old version of yourself? Because here's the truth, transformation is not just about what you want. It's about what you're willing to leave behind. Most people say they want change, but deep down, they're still attached to their past. They still identify with the old patterns, the old emotions, the old story they've told themselves. And so, even as they try to move forward, they keep looking back. That's why they stay stuck. Imagine walking up a staircase while holding onto the railing behind you. You might take a few steps up, but as long as you keep holding on to the past, you can't fully move forward. At some point, you have to let go. That's what this test is about. It's not just about resisting old habits. It's about proving to yourself that you are no longer that person. The old version of you, the one who made excuses, the one who settled for less, the one who repeated the same cycles is gone. But here's the challenge: the temptations won't just be obvious bad habits, they will disguise themselves as comfort, as nostalgia, as something harmless. You'll justify it. Just one time won't hurt. I've been doing well. I deserve a break. Maybe I was happier before. But deep down, you know that if you give in, you are choosing your past over your future. The people who succeed at transformation are the ones who recognize the test. They don't fight the temptation, they observe it. They acknowledge it without giving it power. They remind themselves that what they are leaving behind is no longer part of their story. One moment, you feel inspired, unstoppable, like you're finally stepping into the person you were meant to be. Then, out of nowhere, doubt creeps in, fear takes over, frustration builds. One setback, one small trigger, and suddenly it feels like everything is falling apart. You're exhausted, overwhelmed, questioning everything. This emotional roller coaster isn't random. It's not a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you are transforming. Most people think change is a straight path, set a goal, stay focused, and everything unfolds smoothly. But real transformation doesn't work that way. When you shift your reality, when you break free from old patterns, your nervous system goes through a recalibration. The emotions that rise to the surface aren't new. They've always been there, hidden, suppressed, buried in your subconscious. But now, as you move forward, they come up to be released. It's like cleaning out a closet you've ignored for years. At first, it feels messy. You pull everything out, and suddenly there's clutter everywhere. For a moment, it seems worse than before, but this is part of the process. You're clearing out everything that no longer serves you. The emotions rising now are old energy leaving your system. Think about it. How many emotions have you avoided in your life? How many times have you pushed down sadness, ignored frustration, or distracted yourself from fear? Every unprocessed emotion stays stored in the body. And the moment you step into transformation, your body starts releasing it all. This is why, right before a breakthrough, everything feels chaotic. One day, you feel completely aligned. The next, you're anxious, doubting everything, wanting to give up. It's not because you're going backward, it's because you're shedding the emotional weight of your old self. Mistake most people make is thinking these emotions mean they aren't ready. They assume that if they feel overwhelmed, they should stop. That maybe change isn't for them. But this is where the real test happens. Can you sit with your emotions without running from them? Can you allow yourself to feel everything, knowing that it's part of the process? The universe tests you by bringing up everything that could hold you back. If you're afraid of failure, that fear will surface. If you struggle with self worth, old wounds will reopen. If you've been carrying anger, frustration, or sadness, it will all come up now, not to hurt you, but to be healed. Think of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Inside the cocoon, the old form dissolves. It literally breaks down into a formless state before it can be rebuilt into something new. If you were to open the cocoon too soon, you wouldn't find a butterfly. You'd find a creature in between, caught in the destruction before the transformation is complete. That's what emotional turbulence is. The in between stage, the part where everything you were is dissolving to make space for what you are becoming. Most people don't make it through this phase. They think the emotional intensity means something is wrong, that they need to go back to what feels safe. But the ones who do make it, the ones who sit with the discomfort, the uncertainty, the emotional highs and lows, they come out on the other side completely transformed. Have you ever noticed certain numbers appearing everywhere? Maybe 11 on the clock, a receipt total of $22.22, or seeing the same sequence on street signs and license plate. Or perhaps the same topic keeps showing up in books, conversations, and social media, as if the universe is placing it right in front of you. These are not coincidences. These are synchronicities, powerful signals that your reality is shifting. Synchronicities happen when your internal world aligns with your external reality. When you start changing your thoughts, emotions, and energy, the universe begins to respond. It places clues in your path, guiding you toward transformation. But these signs aren't random. They appear at crucial moments, often right before a breakthrough or significant life change. Carl Jung, the renowned psychologist, was one of the first to explore this phenomenon. He described synchronicity as meaningful coincidences that seem too precise to be chance. According to Jung, these events reveal a deeper connection between our subconscious mind and the external world. In other words, what we focus on internally starts showing up externally. Transformation isn't just about what you do, it's about what you notice. The more aware you become of the signs around you, the more you align with the changes happening in your life. Synchronicities confirm your path. Repeated patterns challenge you to grow. And the moment you start paying attention, you step into a reality where life is no longer happening to you, it's responding to you. One of the hardest parts of transformation is letting go. You might not expect it, but right before a major breakthrough, you often experience loss. A relationship ends. A job that once felt secure suddenly falls apart. Friendships fade. Plans unravel. It feels like everything is slipping away just when you're trying to move forward. But this isn't happening to break you, it's happening to make space for something new. Letting go isn't easy because the human mind craves certainty. Even If something isn't fulfilling, it's predictable, and that predictability gives us a false sense of security. So when the universe forces us to release something, we resist. But what we don't realize is that clinging to the past only delays the future that's trying to reach us. Think about a tree shedding its leaves. It doesn't fight to keep them, it doesn't question why the leaves are falling. It trusts the process because it knows that losing them is necessary for new growth. The same is true for you. Every loss, every ending is preparing you for something greater. So the next time you feel like everything is falling apart, remind yourself it's not falling apart, it's rearranging. The old version of you is dissolving so the new version can emerge. Transformation isn't always comfortable, but it is necessary. Growth demands change, and change requires trust. Trust the process, trust yourself, because on the other side of these challenges is the life you've been preparing for, the life that is already waiting for you. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Mindful Rise for more powerful insights on transformation and personal growth. We'd love to hear your journey, share your experiences in the comments below. Until next time, keep rising, keep evolving, and remember everything is unfolding exactly as it should.